Hello, everyone. This is Michelle Williams coming to you live from the ATL, and many of you know me as Coach Michelle. For those of you that are chiming in to my channel for the first time, welcome, 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 welcome. So I am a serialpreneur specializing in coaching, consulting individuals as well as mentoring on how to start and grow their home care business, non-skilled home care business. So today's video is inspired by one of my followers who jotted down a question in regards to, am I in a state that's regulated? So guys, to determine if you're in a regulated state, you would need to find out, most of the time it's regulated by like the Department of Health, Department of Social Services, and things like that. The easiest way, you can simply Google. You can Google, say you're in South Carolina, you can do South Carolina home care regulations, Georgia home care regulations, or home care licensing application, how to become a provider in the state of Georgia. So there's different ways you can Google, because it's very important as an aspiring entrepreneur that you do your due diligence. So it's just like any other business plus some, right? So some businesses, you just go get your business license, you set up your entity, blah, blah, blah. But if you're in a regulated state, to name a few, Georgia, look, I said Georgia, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, New York, Maryland, New Jersey, Connecticut, right? Just to name a few. There's many more. I'm just giving you an idea. States that are non-regulated, Mississippi, Alabama, Arizona, Michigan, Massachusetts. So different states are regulated or non-regulated. So today's video is to give you some insight into regulated states and what exactly does that mean. What it means is that there's a governing body, basically an agency that's overseeing it. They've put together rules and regulations that one must follow and meet those rules and regulations, apply for an application. The application is going to give you specific things that you must do. I call them prerequisites that you must do and successfully accomplish to obtain the license. Then you can operate your business. The rules and regulations are exactly what you need to do to be compliant on a day-to-day. So when you're in a regulated state, guys, and you find out what body, if you will, what agency, if you will, is governing the licensing part of it, you're going to go through the application process. A lot of them have true prerequisites, like Texas, for instance. Texas is a regulated state. Texas requires you to have an alternate administrator. So you got to have an alternate administrator. You got to make sure you and that person, you as the administrator, your alternate administrator, meet the requirements of the rules and regulations, right? Then do you have to be a nurse? No. A lot of people always ask that question. Some states require, some states do not. So I'm giving you an example of Texas because they have specific training that you must accomplish before you can even submit the application. So they have training that you have to go to and complete successfully through an approved training center, and it's listed on their website. Then they have modules on their website that you must complete, right? So that's an example to let you know, okay, this is a regulated state. These are the prerequisites you have to do before submitting your application. Most regulated states would just simply say, you have to establish yourself as a business, right? What does that mean? That means getting your entity established through your state's Secretary of State, right? Then, some states require you to get an MPI number. Once you get your entity established, then of course you want to get your EIN number, your business license, and things like that, right? So basically establishing your business as a legitimate business. Then you apply for your license in that regulated state, right? So guys, if you're in a non-regulated state, like some of the states that I mentioned, this is not for you. It's much, much easier, faster for you to get up and running than those that are in regulated states. If you're in a regulated state, there's a time frame attached to it. It has changed slightly, some for, the better, some for the worse, meaning some is taking a little longer than traditionally prior to COVID. People are working from home. Some people are no longer, working for whatever reason during this pandemic. So it really varies, right? So some states you can get your license as soon and early as 30 days. Some states take 6 months, 8 months. Maryland, New York, some states are regulated states are even currently under a moratorium, like New York, where they are not even accepting applications, right? Now, side note, if you're in a state like New York that has a moratorium on licensing, you got to really do your due diligence, because that's one of the states, including a few others, but that's one of the states that do not regulate companion sitter type services. They regulate personal care, where you're helping people with their ADLs, activities of daily living. The easiest way to differentiate between those services, I always say, activities of daily living, your caregivers are touching them. Companion services, they're not touching them. So if you're in a state and there's currently a moratorium, you want to find out if they regulate companion sitter type services where your caregiver is not physically touching them. Because guess what? That's a way where you can start your business, get your feet wet, start generating some revenue, get some experience. And when the moratorium is lifted, then of course, then you can go that route of applying and obtaining your license so you can offer full service, non-skilled services, right? So that was just a little side note tip. So make sure you jot that down, because some of you are not moving forward because you don't have that valuable information, that little nugget right there, right? So if you are, just to get back to when I talked about the rules and regulations, guys, you have to create policies and procedures based on those rules and regulations. So you can't just say, okay, here are the rules and regulations. Now I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to run my business as I see fit. No, baby girl. You must follow the rules and regulations, and you have to create customized policies and procedures based on those rules and regulations. Example, if the state says you need a registered nurse, then you must have a registered nurse. You cannot have an LPN. You cannot have a CPA, a CNA go out. Now you do need a CPA. Now that's another video. If you want to learn about that, jot down in the comments and let me know. Your girl will do a video on that. But now, so if the state specifically say you need a registered nurse, guys, to do your comprehensive assessments, and I'll do another video because someone asked about RN assessments. I'll do another video on that as well. So you can't substitute someone that's credentialed, right? If the state says I need a registered nurse to do assessments, then guess what? I need a registered nurse to do the assessments. So don't deviate from the rules and regulations. Now, if there's something you want to do in your business and you're in a regulated state, something, as far as your dress code, your payroll, when you pay your caregivers, how much you pay your caregivers, how much you charge, things like that are not regulated. Some states are more stringent, more stricter than others. But baby, let me tell you this. You must, and when I say must, you must adhere, because you will get unannounced surveys in most states, which means they just pop up and be like, hey, how you doing? I'm here today. Let me see your files. And they just go through and they pick what they want. Or they may ask you for, your last 5 clients or whatever the case may be. So there's certain things that are non-regulated and there are certain things that are. So you want to make sure before you go out and do this on your own, before you invest in someone like myself, my business, if you are looking for a coach, a consultant, you want to make sure you do your due diligence, because you never want to be in a situation where you have to have specific credentials and you don't, and now you've paid somebody, $10,000, $15,000, $5,000 or whatever that number is, or you've invested your time and money and then realize that you don't meet the qualifications for that particular state. Okay. Another question in regards to regulated states is there a fee? Yes, guys, there is a fee. If you are in a regulated state, there's an application fee that you must submit with your application. So, you know, like some states could be as low as $100. In some states like California could be as high as $5,200 just for the application. So you want to make sure, and things are changing, guys, because I think it was back in maybe January, don't quote me on this, but I think it was January 2016 is when California started charging application fee, or actually being regulated. Before they were non-regulated and you could just start your business. Now California is regulated again, I think effective 2016. And when I tell you they are one of the heaviest regulated states, I mean, they are like boom, 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 boom. So you gotta make sure that you follow, again, you're gonna hear me say rules and regulations over and over and over and over, because if not, again, to go back to Texas, they don't play. If you get a violation, if you are not doing something correctly, it could be something so small. I think based on my reading and understanding, I think their fines start at like $1,000. So I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm not saying that to say don't do this, because we need home care agency owners, right? There's more seniors turning 65 more than ever. There's more people that need home care services. There's more people that are participating in elective surgeries. There's more children that need assistance. So you are needed. So if you have a passion for this, if you have a desire for this, if you believe this is your calling, then you definitely want to, pursue and do your due diligence to really identify what it is that you need in order to start your business. But also, you got to make sure you have what's needed to succeed in this, and not just this industry, but as an entrepreneur. And again, that's a whole nother video, a whole nother time. But you got to make sure you have the right mindset. So guys, if you say, yes, I've done my due diligence, yes, this is something I want to do, and you want to learn more about how I and how me and my team can help you, then definitely you can check us out online. My website is myhomecarecoach.com, myhomecarecoach.com. If you want to hear more and learn more and really get your feet wet, definitely you want to click the bell to subscribe, turn on those notifications, and check me out on Facebook at I Am Coach Michele. I go live, I share information. And of course, we have our home care conference every year in March in Atlanta. So you want to check out, when you go to the website, myhomecarecoach.com, definitely after you look at services, check out events. Our next event is March 24th or 5th, I believe, but all the details are definitely online. So guys, if you have any questions, put them down in the comment. I personally respond to each and every comment. If you have any ideas or questions and want to see a specific type of video like this one that someone asked about, then just let me know. I'll come on here and share my knowledge. I don't pretend to know it all, but I do know a lot, because I'm actually in the industry as well. So you guys take care. God bless, and see you on the next video.